Welcome. Today, we're jumping into a pretty radical thought experiment. What if I told you that the key to our country's future, to our prosperity, isn't found in politics, but on our dinner plates? It's a huge idea, and it suggests that the path forward might actually start right in our own kitchens.
So let's just dive right in with the big question that sits at the center of all this. What if the solution to some of our biggest economic problems wasn't some complicated new policy, but just a collective change in what we eat? Sounds a little wild, right? Well, let's follow the logic and see where it takes us. You know, the starting point for this whole idea isn't just theoretical. It's a very real and very expensive problem. So many countries are staring down the barrel of a health insurance crisis. Costs are just spiraling out of control, mostly because of the massive expense of treating an aging population that's getting sicker and sicker.
Okay, so first, let's really get a handle on the scale of the problem we're talking about. It's all about the unbelievable financial weight of what the source material calls a sick old age.
Right now, a gigantic chunk of our national budget, I'm talking about money that could be going into amazing new technologies, better schools, you name it, is instead being poured into managing long-term chronic illnesses. And that financial pressure, it touches every single part of our society. It's a huge drain on all our resources.
So, when you're facing a problem that big, what's the answer? Well, the idea we're exploring today is a catalyst for change that's both incredibly simple and totally radical.
At the heart of it all is a nationwide pivot to a low-carb, high-fat diet. Now look, let's put aside the massive challenge of actually doing something like that and all the debates around nutrition. For this thought experiment, it's being framed as the ultimate form of preventative medicine, a tool so powerful it could tackle the root cause of our biggest health costs.
And this is where things get really interesting. This is where the dominoes start to fall. If a whole nation really made this dietary shift, the very first and most massive impact would be financial. We're talking about reclaiming trillions.
So how does this actually work? Well, it's fascinating. The theory goes that by attacking metabolic diseases head-on, we're talking about things like diabetes, high blood pressure, even dementia. You strike right at the heart of modern healthcare spending. If you can cause a huge drop in those conditions, you get a huge drop in costs. It's a direct line.
The number that the source material throws out there is just staggering. Hundreds of trillions of won. To put that into perspective, that's not just a lot of money. That's enough wealth to completely remake a country's future. The unbelievable cost of nursing homes and long-term care, in this scenario, that could become a thing of the past.
This quote really gets to the core philosophy behind this whole idea. It totally reframes personal health. It's not just about you anymore. It becomes a kind of civic duty. The argument is that the absolute best thing you can do for your country's well-being is to simply stay healthy.
Okay, so picture this. A society suddenly has a massive surplus of cash just sitting there. What happens next? Well, this is the exciting part. You get to reinvest all that money into building a much brighter future.
Just imagine this transformation for a second. A world where the money we now pour into managing sickness is instead funneled into growth, into potential. Instead of building more nursing homes, we could build incredible libraries. Instead of funds for disease management, that money goes to brilliant tech startups. It's a complete flip.
So the key takeaway here is that this isn't just about saving a bunch of money. It's about reallocating it to create a fundamentally better, more prosperous society for everyone. It kicks off this amazing positive cycle. Better health creates more wealth, and that wealth is then used to build an even better future for the next generation.
But, this whole thought experiment goes way beyond just economics and public policy. It drills down to the most personal level imaginable, the family. So let's explore what this idea calls the end of caregiving.
And if you've ever been a caregiver or known one, you know this is absolutely true. It's a massive physical, emotional, and financial weight that doesn't just fall on one person's shoulders. It impacts the entire family, sometimes for years or even decades.
And this might be the most profound shift of all. In a world where chronic illness becomes rare, the whole dynamic of a family gets transformed. The relationship between parents and their adult children is no longer defined by a sense of duty and obligation, but by the freedom and the right to just enjoy life together.
I mean, just think about that for a moment. An entire concept, a word that literally defines the lives of millions of people, could just become obsolete. This isn't just about making life a little easier. It's about completely redefining what it means to be a family as we grow older.
So, after all that, where does this leave us? We've gone on this incredible journey from a simple choice about what to eat, all the way to a complete reimagining of our society, our economy, and even our families. And it all starts with health.
And this is where we'll end it, with one last, really provocative question. If we solve the problem of physical decline, if we can have healthy bodies for 100 years, maybe more, does that change the very nature of our relationships? Does it change the way we love? It's a fascinating thought to chew on. What do you think?